In the soft glow of a Roman dawn, a wealthy vineyard owner, a man known for his vast lands and even vaster generosity, stepped into the bustling marketplace. He was looking for workers, men to help with the day's harvest. He found a group of eager men, their faces etched with the hope of a day's wage. He offered them the standard pay, a silver coin, for a full day's labor under the warm sun. The men agreed, their spirits high, and followed him to the vineyard. The sun climbed higher, and the morning's work was well underway. Around 9 o'clock, the owner returned to the marketplace. He saw more men standing idle, their hands in their pockets, their eyes scanning the crowd for opportunity. "Go and work in my vineyard," he told them, "and I will pay you whatever is right." They didn't question it, the promise of work was enough. They headed off to join the first group among the vines. The day grew hotter. At noon, and then again at 3 in the afternoon, the owner repeated his journey to the market. Each time, he found more men waiting, and each time, he sent them into his fields with the same promise of fair pay. The vineyard was now teeming with workers, the air filled with the sounds of labor and the sweet scent of ripe grapes. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the fields, the owner made one final trip. It was 5 o'clock, the 11th hour. The workday was nearly over. Yet, he found another group of men, lingering in the fading light. "Why have you been standing here all day long doing nothing?" he asked, his voice gentle. "Because no one has hired us," they replied, their voices heavy with the disappointment of a wasted day. A wave of compassion washed over the owner. "You also go and work in my vineyard," he said. And so, for the final hour of daylight, they too went to work. When evening came, the owner called his foreman. "It's time to pay the workers," he instructed. "Call them all in, and pay them their wages. But start with the last ones hired and go on to the first." The foreman nodded and gathered the laborers. A sense of anticipation filled the air. The men who had worked for only a single hour were called forward first. They approached the foreman, perhaps expecting a pittance, a fraction of a day's wage. But to their utter astonishment, each one was handed a full silver coin. A murmur of surprise rippled through the crowd. One by one, the groups that had started at 3 o'clock, at noon, and at 9 o'clock were called. And each man, regardless of how long he had worked, received the same amount, one silver coin. A wave of confusion and excitement spread among them. Those who had been hired first, the ones who had toiled all day under the scorching sun, watched this unfold with growing anticipation. Their minds raced. If the men who worked only an hour received a full day's pay, surely they would receive more. Their long day of sweat and effort was about to be rewarded handsomely. Finally, it was their turn. They stepped forward, their faces tired but hopeful, their hands outstretched. The foreman placed a coin in each palm. It was a silver coin. The exact same amount everyone else had received. Their hope turned to shock, then to anger. They began to grumble, their voices rising in protest against the owner. "These who were hired last worked only 1 hour," they complained, "and you have made them equal to us who have borne the burden of the work and the heat of the entire day." They felt cheated, their hard labor devalued. The owner, hearing their complaints, approached one of them. His expression wasn't angry, but calm and measured. "Friend," he said, his voice steady, "I am not being unfair to you. Didn't you agree to work for 1 silver coin?" The man nodded, unable to deny the truth. "Take your pay and go," the owner continued. "I want to give the one who was hired less the same as I gave you." He paused, letting his words sink in. He looked at the disgruntled faces before him. "Don't I have the right to do what I want with my own money? Or are you envious because I am generous?" The question hung in the air, a powerful challenge to their sense of fairness. It wasn't about what was deserved, but about the owner's freedom to give. His generosity wasn't a commodity to be measured or earned. It was a gift, freely given from the goodness of his heart. The workers fell silent, the owner's perspective shifting their understanding. They had received exactly what they had been promised. The owner's unexpected grace to others did not diminish their own agreement. This story reveals a profound truth about God's kingdom. It's not about earning our way in or comparing our efforts to others. It's about a grace that defies our expectations. God's generosity is boundless, and He gives as He sees fit, not based on our timetables or our perceptions of fairness. We are all invited into the vineyard, whether at the start of the day or in its final hour. The reward is not a wage earned, but a gift of grace, freely offered to all who accept the invitation. So, the last will be first, and the first will be last. Thank you for watching. If this story touched you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that inspires.